The world's balance often hinges on the relationship between two giants, the United States and India. One is the world's oldest democracy and largest economy, the other, the largest democracy and a rising powerhouse. Their partnership shapes global trade, security, and the balance of power. When they cooperate, the world feels it. When they clash, the world feels that too. At the heart of this story are two leaders, US President Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Their personal chemistry has created both spectacular moments and dramatic tensions. This isn't just about politics, it's about personalities and the unpredictable nature of modern diplomacy. The US-India bond is built on shared values, democracy, freedom, and economic ties worth billions. Both face common challenges from terrorism to climate change, making partnership essential. Even as political winds shift, the foundation of this relationship remains strong. Today, in September 2025, another chapter unfolds as leaders talk of renewed cooperation after a period of tension. The Trump-Modi story shows how personal drama can shake alliances, but national interests often prove more resilient. It's a lesson in how the personalities of leaders can create uncertainty, but the interests connecting nations endure. The US and India's partnership is a powerful force, one that outlasts any single leader. Their story is a reminder. International relations are, at their core, deeply human. To understand recent US-India twists, you need to know the men at the center: Donald Trump and Narendra Modi. Trump, the 47th US president, brought a deal-maker's mindset and a flair for spectacle to the White House. He values loyalty, public praise, and direct communication, often via social media. Modi, India's prime minister, is equally charismatic, rising from humble roots to global prominence. Both are nationalists, political outsiders, and masters of the grand gesture. Their chemistry led to headline-grabbing events, the Howdy Modi rally in Houston and Namaste Trump in India. These spectacles projected strength and friendship to the world. But this focus on personality made their relationship volatile. Trump's foreign policy could shift overnight, driven by mood and perceived loyalty. Modi invested heavily in their bond, believing it unbreakable. But global politics is rarely that simple. Their friendship would soon be tested, revealing the fragility of alliances built on ego and spectacle. In the end, personal ties proved both a strength and a weakness. With Trump and Modi, diplomacy became theater, big rallies, bold statements, and a focus on image. For Trump, admiration and public validation shaped foreign policy. Praise meant friendship, criticism meant hostility. Modi embraced the spotlight, using their partnership to project India's global stature. But this performance-based approach was unstable. Policy shifted with personal feelings, making the relationship unpredictable. A single slight or disagreement could turn friends into rivals overnight. The very chemistry that made their alliance spectacular also made it fragile. When diplomacy is driven by ego, the foundation is always at risk. The Trump-Modi era was proof. Personality can drive policy, but it rarely guarantees stability. The summer of 2025 showed just how quickly Trump and Modi's relationship could unravel. In July, Trump's tone turned icy, frustrated by India's trade policies and ties with Russia. He criticized India's tariffs and dismissed the relationship, sparking global concern. The trigger stalled trade talks and India's continued purchase of Russian oil, which the US saw as undermining its stance on Ukraine. When Modi appeared at a summit with Russian and Chinese leaders, Trump saw red. The US responded with steep tariffs on Indian goods, threatening a trade war. The best friends narrative collapsed almost overnight. Yet, just weeks later, Trump reversed course, calling Modi a good friend and resuming negotiations. Analysts say Trump realized his hardline tactics risked pushing India closer to America's rivals. The rapid shift highlighted the unpredictable, personality-driven nature of their diplomacy. The relationship swung from warm to cold and back again in a matter of weeks. It was a roller coaster, one that left both nations scrambling to keep up. The lesson: when policy is personal, alliances can change in an instant. But even after the storm, the need for partnership remained. Both sides recognized that their interests were too important to abandon. The drama faded, but the stakes stayed high. The summer of 2025 was a low point for Trump and Modi's personal rapport. The warmth of past rallies was gone, replaced by suspicion and offense. Trump felt slighted when Modi met with Vice President Harris but not with him, a perceived betrayal in Trump's world. The friendship, once robust, seemed to vanish overnight. Personalizing foreign policy made every slight feel monumental. Another flashpoint: Trump's claim to have mediated peace between India and Pakistan, angering Indian officials who reject outside involvement. Modi had to personally clarify India's stance, exposing a deep misunderstanding. Trade disputes added fuel. Trump saw India as taking advantage, imposing tariffs. India retaliated. The economic relationship became a battleground. The summer's lesson: even close friendships can't paper over deep policy divides. When egos drive diplomacy, the fallout can be swift and severe. The US-India partnership was tested as never before. The turmoil of 2025 forced Modi to rethink his approach. Disappointing election results and the fallout with Trump replaced optimism with caution. Modi learned that personal bonds can't substitute for strong institutional ties. Now he approaches diplomacy with measured realism, focusing on India's interests, not just personal rapport. The exuberant language is gone, replaced by careful strategic communication. Modi's flexibility signals political maturity. In geopolitics, there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. The focus has shifted from friendship with Trump to the enduring value of the US-India partnership. Stability, not spectacle, is now the goal. Despite the Trump-Modi rollercoaster, the US-India partnership rests on a solid foundation. Decades of shared interests, values, and people-to-people ties make it bigger than any two leaders. Even at the height of tension, diplomats and advisors worked behind the scenes to keep the relationship on track. Shared concerns about China's rise drive strategic cooperation, military, intelligence, and diplomacy. Economic ties remain strong, with billions in trade and investment flowing both ways. The Indian diaspora in the US strengthens the bond, creating a living bridge between nations. Recent de-escalation wasn't just about Trump's mood, it was the result of hard work by officials on both sides. A trade war would hurt both economies, a diplomatic rift would only benefit rivals. The personal friendship may never return to its peak, but the partnership endures. Modi has learned national interests matter most. The US-India relationship is built to last. Looking ahead, the US-India relationship remains vital for the 21st century. The recent roller coaster revealed both the risks of personal diplomacy and the strength of shared interests. Trade talks will test the new dynamic. Success will require patience, not grand gestures. Beyond economics, the two nations must cooperate on global challenges: China, climate change, health, and technology. No country can tackle these issues alone. The US-India partnership, with its combined economic and technological power, is uniquely positioned to lead. The Trump-Modi saga reminds us, leaders shape headlines, but national interests shape history. The friendship was dramatic, but the partnership is what endures. As Modi said, the US and India are natural partners. Together they'll keep navigating a complex world, sometimes as friends, always as partners.